Hi there, my name is Katie, and I'm going to be your nurse today. First of all, we're going to establish a baseline of how you're doing right now that you're here. So I need to take your temperature, count your respirations, get your pulse, check how much oxygen is saturated in your blood, and get your blood pressure. So I can do all that with this machine here. It's going to hook you up. I know it's a lot, I'm sorry. And if you could put the probe under your tongue and close your lips. Good. And just wait a few seconds while that goes. Okay. Your blood pressure is a little high. Is that normal for you? It's 150 over 78. Yeah, that happens. Okay, do you have any blood pressure medication? You do. Okay. We'll get that in the computer and get it ordered from the pharmacy and get it taken care of. It's not a scary number, it's just a little high, and I like to ask if that's normal. Sometimes people who usually run in the 120 over 80 category come in and they're in the 150s, 160s because they're stressed, they're in the hospital, you get pain. So I just like to know where it's coming from. Your pulse is 86, and that's good because we want that between 60 and 100. Your temperature oral is 98.1, which is great, no fever. And your pulse ox, and that's what that probe on your finger is. It looks through your fingernail, and it can see your red blood cells, your hemoglobin, and it can see how much of it is loaded and attached to what we assume is oxygen. It should be. Technically, it's just seeing that the molecules are attached to something, so if we ever get somebody who may have carbon monoxide poisoning, we need to not rely on just the probe. We would have to actually take a blood sample because that could be carbon monoxide, not oxygen, attached to their hemoglobin. But in everybody else, it's oxygen. So you are 98%, and that is wonderful. We like that in most people. We like it to be 95 and up. I run 98 usually, and if somebody has COPD or a breathing issue, we'll accept 92. But 98's great, so we don't need to put any oxygen on you right now. If you do dip into those low 90s for any reason, we might put on a nasal cannula at about 2 liters just to supplement the deficit for a little while, and hopefully it'll perk back up on its own. But sometimes sick people need a little help. So that's all the basic vitals that this machine is going to be able to tell me. So let me make sure I have everything. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you some questions. Are you in any pain right now? Yes. Okay. On a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being obviously you're free of pain, which you're not, and 10 being the worst pain that you could possibly imagine, how would you rate your pain? Okay. You'd say it's a 7 or 8. Okay. That's what we call, moderate to severe. That's up in the higher echelon. It's close to severe, and we don't like that number. Pain is subjective. Whatever the patient says it is, that's what it is. Some people who have chronic pain can stand 7s, and because they're used to it. So we try to reach a level that the patient is comfortable with. But typically, most people can handle 3s, 4s, 2s, pain-free. It's obviously the goal. It's not always practical. So sometimes we have to shoot for a little lower. So with you for right now, I would say that we're gonna shoot for a 4 within the next hour or so. Your doctor should be putting in orders for pain meds as we speak. Once we're done with this evaluation, I will go check those and get them, and we can try to get you more comfortable. And then we'll go from there. That could also explain your blood pressure. So, because a 7 or an 8 is pretty intense. And where is your pain located? In your chest? Okay. And is it radiating anywhere? Kind of to your shoulder? Okay. And is it like a stabbing? Or is it a throbbing? Or is it a gnawing, aching? Pins and needles? What is it? What's its character? It's a stabbing. Okay. And you feel pressure? Okay. And do you feel like you can breathe well? Okay. So, is there anything you do? Have you ever had this before? You have. And is there anything that you can either take medicinally, or you can do positionally, or anything you do that alleviates the pain? Nitroglycerin. You have angina. Okay. And that usually works, but it's not right now. Okay. Very good decision to come to the hospital. Everyone, really, especially adults, but I would suggest anybody, if you have chest pain, go to the hospital. It doesn't matter if it turns out to be heartburn or nothing. Time is of the essence if, you are having a heart issue. So you're in the right place. And is there anything you do that aggravates that pressure and that pain? When you breathe deep? Okay. And when you cough? Okay. So, a side effect of some blood pressure medications, and I don't know if you're on one, but ACE inhibitors, it's a very popular type of blood pressure medication, side effect is a dry cough. And so some people end up not really noticing it after a while, and they can get really sore in their sternum, and their abs, and their abdomen, and their kind of ribs, and on the side, their obliques, because they're using those a lot to cough and not really noticing, and then suddenly they're very sore, or it hurts, and it's a musculoskeletal problem, not a venous one. It's not a heart issue. That's a possibility. But I don't know if you're on an ACE inhibitor yet. We haven't really gotten to your meds yet, because the doctor hasn't put them in. Do you know if you're on an ACE inhibitor? You are. Okay. Okay, well, it's just something to think about, but we're gonna definitely check everything. So, do you have any allergies? I should have asked that earlier. No known allergies. Okay. That makes things easier. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, the lab is actually here. They're going to draw your blood really quick, because there's a few tests we have to run on your blood if you have chest pain. And basically what we're looking for are enzymes or markers that indicate heart injury, infarct, or anything where there's a possible heart attack. So they're going to get just a little bit of your blood while I'm talking to you. They're going to do their best not to hurt, and we're going to run that to the lab. And we're going to be looking for, specifically, the most important is troponin. If that level is above a 0.03, then that's indicative of a heart attack. It's an enzyme that's released when the heart is injured or deprived of oxygen or stressed. So we're going to be looking for that, and we're going to test that 3 times. We're going to test it now, and then in another 4 hours, and then another 4 hours. So we do it over 12 hours. If any of them come back positive, then we treat you as if we assume you've had a heart attack. Right now you're asymptomatic for that. Your oxygen is great. You are completely lucid. You aren't dizzy. You're not sweating, diaphoretic, anything like that. So we're going to get you hooked up on telemetry. The tech is going to come in and put on this EKG little pads on you so we can watch your heart. And they're going to put a black one, and then a red one, and then a white one, and a green one, and then sometimes they have a brown one, and we put that in the middle. And the way you can remember it, if they fall off or something, call the tech. They should know, but if you want to know, a good mnemonic way to remember is that the black is smoke, the red is fire, so smoke over fire, and then the white is snow, and the green is grass, so snow on the grass, and then the brown is just extra, and it can go in the middle, and they can be on either side. We can read, they can switch which side that's on, but they need to be above or below their counterpart. Doesn't matter really which side, because we can read it either way, as long as the same 2 are together. So he's going to come in and do that. Thank you. And so we'll be able to monitor if you're having any signs of, we can see on a telemetry screen, we can read your EKG, we can see if you have any indications of your heart will tell us if it's kind of like being deprived of oxygen, if there's a clot, and that's where heart attacks come from. It'll tell us like, hey, something's not right, and then with the ST depression, and I know this sounds like nonsense, and then with the ST elevation, that means that there's been an injury, an infarct. So we can see just from the EKG also, that'll lead us to some more answers. So all we're doing right now is really trying to get a good diagnostic picture of you so we can treat you properly. So the EKG, the labs are being drawn, and then I'm going to just kind of check you out head to toe. I'm going to focus on your chest, obviously, because that's where the focus assessment needs to be done. So basically I'm just going to look at your face and your hair, and I just want to see if there's any abrasions or any obvious cuts, anything that maybe indicate you had a fall or anything like that. Want to see that your hair texture is normal. All these little things all add up to tell us a good picture. And what I'm going to do is now I'm going to check your nose. You can just kind of lift up and look. Okay, everything looks clear. Do you have any dentures or any removable pieces? Not crowns or anything, but partials, full? No, you have all your teeth. That's good. Okay, and now I'm going to have you follow my finger. The really fun thing that everybody's done. Keep your head and neck straight. Don't move that. Only move your eyes. Good. We do all those specifically, we basically make a cross and then another